Level 1. You wake to silence. Too much silence for a house that used to hum. The radiator ticks and your mother snores on the couch. Bills lie like weapons on the kitchen table. Red numbers. Final notices. A doorbell that never rings. You can count calories like inventory. You can count coins until your hands shake. You cannot count time. Your kid sleeps with a fever that won't drop. The clinic closed at 6. Medicine costs more than dignity. Someone has to do something. You rub your eyes. You know the rules you grew up with. You also know the law will not bend for love. You stand at a crossroads with a baby in your arms and a hunger in your chest. You feel the weight of every promise you ever made. You have one choice that isn't written in any handbook. You can let it go, or you can take what is needed. Your throat tightens. You have never stolen before. Tonight, you imagine it like stepping onto ice. Heat, risk, and the crack of a world rearranged. You count the reasons instead of the cost. Level 2. You make lists, not of items, but of priorities. Life, food, medicine, rent. Names without which everything collapses. You sketch paths. You map places you have never wanted to be. A pharmacy with loose morals. A grocery with late-night deliveries. A wealthy neighbor with a lax lock. You visit each in your mind. You see guards, cameras, schedules. You measure every window of opportunity with a ruler made of fear. You rehearse every step silently. You practice taking nothing more than you need. Rules to keep your soul intact. Rule 1. No violence. Rule 2. Take only exactly what will save them. Rule 3. Leave a trace that says you were never there. You know people who took the wrong turn. You have seen the hollow look on faces that could not return. You do not want that for your family. You adjust the plan. You learn how to be invisible. Level 3. Night becomes your ally. You dress like someone who belongs in the dark. Old clothes, gloves, a cap. Silence is a costume. You steal small moments of courage. Your hands shake when you open the car. Your heartbeat is a drum solo in an empty church. You drive slowly. Streetlights smear like memory down the windshield. You arrive at the target. It looks small under the moon, bigger in every way in the daylight of consequences. You approach like a shadow approaches its shadow. The first lock is a question. Someone somewhere always misplaces a bolt. You listen to the building breathe, a creak, a distant laugh on a TV. You move. You find the spare door, a broken latch. You slip inside as if you were meant to be there. Level 4. Inside is vertically quiet, scent of antiseptic and money. You keep your hands low. Every step counts. A camera blinks like an unblinking eye. You freeze. Its red light is a small sun threatening your orbit. You find the route you practiced in your head. A back corridor, boxes like crates in a shipwreck. You shave minutes off your plan. Your breath fogs the air. Then a voice. A janitor sings softly, a radio in his pocket. You wait. He turns the corner. Your body is a statue. You pass like a story whispered in the wrong ear. You reach the shelf. You take only what you came for. You slide the package into your bag. It smells like salvation. You pin the world to the inside of your coat. You leave no more than a shadow of disturbance. Level 5. The exit is a maze of small dangers. A motion sensor that might curve the path of your life. A loose tile that sounds like truth. Your foot hesitates. For a heartbeat, you imagine sirens, cell doors, badge flashes. You picture faces you love in mugshots and headlines. You choose the other breath. You leap. The alarm does not sound. You walk through the night like a wronged angel. Your lungs fill with cold victory. Relief is a small, fragile animal. You hold it in one hand and your bag in the other. You drive home like a thief in a hymn. Level 6. Home becomes a mission command center. You lay out the spoils on the table. You measure doses like a pharmacist and a sinner. The medicine fits like a promise. The cost fits like a confession. Your child coughs, then smiles when the fever breaks. Your mother presses her hand to your forehead as if to read the future. You are both criminal and saint in that room. You are both relieved and irreparably altered. You watch the sunrise. It is a holy thing after unnatural hours. You remember the rules you set. You broke one to save many. You did not hurt anyone, But damage is not only to others. You carry a ledger now. Debt that isn't financial. Level 7 news cycles eat moments like breakfast. You keep your mouth closed. You watch your phone like a mine. Guilt arrives with the first daylight. It sits in the passenger seat. You think about the person you took from. They will notice a difference, a missing package, a discrepancy. Someone will write a report. Someone will look at footage. Some camera will remember. You sleep in jerks now. Dreams are a courtroom. You find yourself defending the decision to strangers. You practice justifications that fit in your pocket. You think of reparation. You plan to mend what you broke, if there is anything you can fix. Level 8. Consequences land like weather. A break-in reported 2 blocks away. A man at the shop mentions a theft. You feel the knot tighten. You try to disappear into chores. Your neighbor thanks you for borrowing sugar. You smile like a thief on parole. Days slip by. No call, no knock. Relief is a brittle coin. You know luck is patient. It waits like a judge with a lunchbox. One afternoon, an officer knocks. You open the door. You answer questions with the trained blankness of someone who has rehearsed grief. You do not admit. You do not accuse yourself either. You navigate the language of omission. They leave with polite ambiguity. You are not free. You are quietly dangerous to yourself. Level 9. You begin to pay back. Not in money. In hours. Volunteer shifts, soup kitchens, nights handing out coats. You work until your feet forget the way home. You give away time you can never buy back. The ledger shortens. Your conscience is not a calculator, but action is a salve. You explain to your child that sometimes adults do hard things. They nod with the simple mercy of the young. Their trust is a fragile glass bowl you vow to keep uncracked. You begin to sleep with your eyes open. You join a support group that smells like coffee and second chances. Others have stolen for reasons that sound like yours. You meet an old woman who says most people would have done the same. Her words land like a raft. You begin to forgive yourself in small doses. Level 10. Time smooths but does not erase. You still check locks twice. You still flinch at sirens, but your child laughs more often. You watch your mother regain color in her cheeks. Your community sees you differently on some days. At the grocery, the cashier notices the scar on your knuckle. You tell a different story. You say you helped a friend. White lies keep soft things intact. You volunteer for a neighborhood watch that teaches safety, not suspicion. You mentor a kid who has a hunger you once knew. You give skills, not pills. You teach him to count reasons before choices. You teach him to look for another way. Redemption, you learn, is a daily currency. You spend it in small acts. Level 11. Years will test you. You watch your child grow into a person you can be proud of. Bills will come. So will temptations. You will face moments when the old rules call like an old friend. You will almost answer. Then you will remember the face in the fever. You will remember the tone of your own promise. You will choose differently because you can now see other roads. Not cleaner, not easier, but you will walk them. Conclusion. Stealing to save is a hard lens to hold steady. It warps light. It reveals bone. It shows you what you will move for. It tells you which edges you can live with. You were pushed, pulled, and you pushed back. You kept a family alive. You also changed yourself. That is the cost and the gift. You did not erase the act. You learned from it. You paid where you could. You gave back in ways that counted. In the end, the question is not only whether you would steal. The question is what you become after you do. Do you harden, or do you rebuild with hands that once took and now give? You look at your sleeping child. You decide the answer. If you enjoyed this story, subscribe to Beyond the Story for more suspenseful stories every week. And remember, every choice has a consequence. I'll see you in the next story.